Sentire Media.
Ciao a tutti and welcome to Venice Talks, a podcast series dedicated to Venice in Italy. I'm your host, Monica Cesarato, a Venetian food and travel blogger. Join me as I share my insider knowledge to help you explore Venice at 360 degrees. In this weekly podcast, we'll dive into the heart of a city, uncovering hidden stories and connecting with the people who make Venice unique. The artisans, the writers, the fashion designers, the bloggers, the journalists, and more. Let's break free from cliché and discover the true essence of Venice, not just the monuments, but the vibrant people, the Venetians. Experience Venice the right sustainable way. You can find me on my blog at www.monicacesarato.com and across all social media platforms. Enjoy the episode and let's journey through Venice together. Welcome back to Venice Talks, Season 2, Episode number 10. Hi everybody and welcome back to Venice Talks. Today I have a very special guest. I have with me Rita Panebianco from Caffè Florian. Hi Rita, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you. Fine, excellent.
So usually I always ask my guests to introduce the company they work for, but I don't think that Caffè Florian needs any introduction. But can you tell us briefly the history of the Caffè Florian and why it has become a point of reference in Venice?
It's a pleasure, of course. Caffè Florian, we call it, and has been open in 1720 in San Marco Square. And we name it Florian because the founder, Floriano Francesconi, opened it in 1720. It was the 29th of December. And he was one of many other entrepreneurs at that time. And if we nowadays call the place Florian, naming his name, it's because he was a very special person. I mean, Caffè Florian founded it means 304 years, which is quite a while. And the venue survived to high tide, wars, and crusade, and so on. It has been part of the history of Venice.
It's the oldest cafe in the world, isn't it?
It is, because it has opened as a coffee house and crossed the time as a coffee house. So today, still serving coffee. And it's at the same time a museum. Yes. I mean, it has been preserved in its furniture. So it's part, really every details tell us about the history of the town. The point is that other places, consider that when coffee arrived in Venice, it was the 17th century, other places opened earlier, and in Europe as well, but they do not exist anymore nowadays.
Yes.
So the very important, let's say, what the place has conquered is a place in the history. It stays there. You know, we work for Caffè Florian, but we are conscious that we are part of this journey, a short journey that is our life. And it's including this long history of Caffè Florian. The place will survive. We won't, because we are human beings. And so really it's a point, it's how would you say? Un punto di riferimento. Venetian people.
Yeah, it's a point of reference. That's what's important, I think, about the Caffè Florian. And by the way, I love it because I always thought I was pronouncing it wrong because I hear other people pronounce it in a different way. And I realized I was pronouncing it right. So I'm very happy.
Florian. It
Florian.
Sounds French.
Yeah, because I know, because a lot of people pronounce it Florian. And I go, are you sure it's Florian? But even some Venetian I've heard them pronounce, maybe not the Venetian, maybe people that live in Venice and not Venetian pronounce it that way. But that's what's important about Caffè Florian, that it's not just, in the collective mind, you always see the tourists sitting outside, having the drink, having their coffee, their aperitif with music and so on. But there's loads and loads and loads of locals that actually come and just have a quick drink, say hi, have a quick look on the newspaper, daily newspaper, and then walk out. So it is part of a daily life for Venetians, isn't it?
It is. It's part of a rite, of a routine.
So, are there any particular historical anecdotes regarding the cafe that make it unique?
Yeah, I mean, you have tourists, but you have Venetian coming, and it's the role it had in the history. It's to be a hub, to be a potpourri. When this cafe opened, consider that the meeting, the brainstorming, something unseen. I mean, people used to meet in the literary saloon of very aristocrats and enlightened women, but it was just for the aristocrat. This coffee house opened. People meet and consider during the carnival with the masks and masquerade, the social role. You could pretend to be a rich, and in this place, it was a public. There was the meeting, the social right of the meeting around the coffee cup was democratized. So everybody, it was a place open to everybody. So you could meet the Conte Gasparo Gozzi selling his Gazzetta Veneta because he used to be there at Caffè Florian and gather news to publish on this absolutely brand new newspaper, Gazzetta Veneta. And like nowadays, you can meet the mayor of the town and very simple citizens. So it's a hub. Really, if you like to know what happens in Venice, you go there, you just stay there, and you can listen. You can observe the world going round like a babele and listen all the different languages and Venetian dialect. It's all together. It's like you stay there and the world comes to you. It's impressive.
True. It's true. And what I really like about Caffè Florian is the buzzing. I mean, wherever you walk in, it's just buzzing. It's like bees. So you have all your waiters, all your maîtres, all your barmen running around, but in a very... I mean, it looks chaotic, but at the same time, they're dancing, I got to say, because I always see them going. I know, they're like, because, the cafe is quite big, but at the same time, is small. It's as big as in, how many rooms have you got? 3 or 4? I can never remember.
I mean, the small one, the 3 small one, you can see the jewels, I would say, which is Sala Senato, Sala Cinese, and Sala Orientale.
Okay.
The 2 Oriental, and then the 3 small, and then the 2 long one, which is Sala Uomini Illustri, so illustrious men and season, Sala Stagioni, and then the small one hidden, which is the Liberty, Art Nouveau style, Sala Liberty, appunto.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, it's a secret room. I love it. It's my favorite one. You
know, it's not so secret anymore.
I have my secret room. It's a hidden room.
I didn't know.
So there is no window facing on the square. And it's the recent one. I mean, it was open in 1920. So
very recent.
Very recent.
100 years ago, I like that.
But then you consider that when Floriano, I just wanted Monica to tell you, the Floriano is in Italian. So Floriano Francesconi is the name of the founder, the owner. But then in Venetian dialect, Florian. Demo da Florian, they used to say, Demo da Florian. Let's go to Florian. So I know, my friend, they call the place Florian in Italian. But we prefer Florian.
Good. So for everybody out there, if when you go there and you want to show off and also show off, because we heard it on Monica's podcast, you say Caffè Florian. 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 Okay, so we were talking about the rooms.
Yes.
What makes Caffè Florian so particular? What are the distinctive elements of the furnishing and its internal architecture? I mean, I know it because it's one of my favorite places to take photos of because it's amazing. But let's describe it for the people who haven't been yet.
let's say that Caffè Florian exudes history. What we observe nowadays, it's the restoration. The restoration was made in 1858. So Floriano Francesconi opens it, and it's a very simple, very, very simple place. They serve coffee. He used to serve coffee, but it wasn't so opulent and rich. When he died, and then the society, the owners changed, they really wanted to give a message. It was like a marketing operation, you know? And they in charge...
Anna Rita, in typical Venetian style.
Yeah,
because the Venetians were going at marketing and propaganda.
See. So they really wanted to have a wow effect. And the architect Ludovico Cadorin was in charge of the restoration. And as you said, I mean, this Rococo style is very rich, the gilded decoration, and Ludovico Cadorin was a genius. Now, if you observe the table, the original Carrara marble, rotating. So they are fixed into the floor, but the upper part rotate.
I didn't know this.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's a piece of design.
Okay.
Because imagine 19th century women used to dress with larger skirts and crinoline.
Of course.
So the upper part, the table rotate, so they could comfortably and easily sit down.
I'm sorry.
And once sat down, you could turn it again.
Okay, next time I'm gonna
demand
this treatment.
Yes.
Because I'm always...
And then it's a piece of design. It was 1858. And then he used the Carrara marble to make vertical decoration, which was unseen at that stage. I mean, at that age, it wasn't... marble is heavy, so he had this...
It's heavy and expensive. It was expensive even 200 years ago. So, you know.
Yeah. And I tell you, when the sun comes up early in the morning, when it's still closed, and the first ray of the square, then you see this, it's transparent. You can see a bit of the light coming from outside. It's a beautiful feeling. I mean, Caffè Florian, it's rich in these small details.
Listen, Anna Rita, would you say also that the marble on the wall helps the place to stay cooler, considering the hot summers in Venice?
Let's say in this case, Ludovico Cadorin used the marble for the table and for the door, just for vertical decoration of the doors.
Okay.
Whereas inside we have this typical color, which is the red, Florian red, we call it. And the sofa and the chairs, and it's all original, you know, the furniture has been preserved.
Oh, okay. Didn't really. I thought it was, okay, I didn't know that. Okay. Even more.
Oh, yes. So you have this velvet, which is red, and you sit on this velvet inside. So and it's original again, 1858, this parquet, so it's a wooden floor. And I tell you, during the height in 2019, we used to be there with boots, gathering pieces of this original wooden parquet floor, floating around. It was
that must have broke everybody's heart. Oh my God, I know it was a terrible time for everybody, but oh my God, you probably also, because St. Mark's Square, it was the first part of Venice to go really under. Oh, mamma mia.
So you have to you have to take care of this place, because you have to restore.
Of course.
And it's very important, because every day we have so many people visiting.
Of course.
So it's an historical monument.
Yes.
But still living, still serving coffee. And it has to be up to date, you know. But then you have to be very careful not to ruin, and you have to restore. And even when you restore it, then it becomes a high tide to destroy everything.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then again, it's all the wooden and the gilded decoration, and then you have the beautiful decoration on all the walls. If you observe, every single room has got a theme.
Yes.
And Ludovico Cadorin wanted some students of the fine art academy of Venice,
Uh-huh.
which are now famous, but at that point they were students. And every student had a room to decorate. So Giacomo Casa had the Senato room, and you recognize it because it has got this angel of progress and some of the Masonic symbolism, which is cryptical. And on the other side, we have the Chinaman room and the Oriental room with this young lady smoking cigar and with part of the body unveiled. The atmosphere is the same that we can find in Lord Byron works, this Oriental world, but observed with the Western eyes, let's say. And exactly as in Venice, Caffè Florian is a fusion of the Byzantine and Oriental influences. Consider the coffee comes from Istanbul. I mean, in Istanbul, the ambassador of Venice observed this custom. They had to gather together around a cup of coffee. And then the coffee was introduced in Venice because of the port of the harbor. So there was a trade, and it was very expensive to start with. But it was a revolution. It was not just this bevanda negra, they call it, this black beverage introduced during the Enlightenment century, whereas people used to drink aquavite. This beverage was introduced, coffee, enlightened, awakened the mind.
Yes.
In fact, it was appreciated, not to start with, but then very appreciated, very expensive, and let's say that it was a revolution because in a public place people could meet and talk about the Enlightenment ideas. It was, a challenge to the old aristocrats and religious,
of course,
values.
And then there was the introduction of sugar, and that helped get the coffee even more appreciated because it wasn't bitter anymore. So that made it even better.
Yeah, like chocolate indeed.
Of course.
Right in Venice, Venice was the place where you could have this exotic drink, but to reinterpret it and made Venetian. Venice was dominante. You know that Floriano called his coffee house alla Venezia Trionfante in 1720.
Okay.
So
the triumphant Venice. The triumphant Venice.
So in homage to Venice, because Venice was dominant and triumphant over the sea, they created this molded, this trade pattern on the sea. And the Oriental habit, for example, the coffee, came in. So Venice was outgoing, discovering the world. The world came in, and this made Venetian this impact coming from outside, which is, from a point of view of the culture we have, quite interesting, because Venice culture is a fusion.
Yes,
like in the cooking,
is a multi-ethnical.
It's multi-ethnical, which is quite. And so sorry, Monica, we were talking about the furniture.
No, that's okay. No, we're going forward. Don't worry. We
the
go.
Furniture is an experience. When you say, shall we go to
the mirrors?
Caffè Florian? Yes.
Wait, Anna Rita. What about the mirrors?
The mirrors. Now, observe the mirrors. They are original. So when we restore, for example, the mirrors, you have to keep the sign of the time. So you don't see a brand new mirror or a spick span, you see the sign of the time. You just preserve it from humidity and other damages.
And
but also, then we leave the sign of the time.
Let's remember the Venetian mirrors, thanks to Murano, were known all over the world. So listen, let's go back to today. How would you describe the typical customer experience? How do you what do you do to try to offer a unique experience in a day in an era where customer experience now is so important?
Mm. Today we say, so I talk about myself. First time I visited Caffè Florian, I felt quite a particular energy.
Mm.
I was amazed. I was mesmerized. I was, and
Are you
working.
Venetian, or are you Venetian, or you're from outside?
I was born in Apulia.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I came to
Okay,
Venice.
You are a foresta.
Sono foresta.
It's a forest. In Venetian, we say foresta for people from outside of Venice. We say foresti for people like me that come from the countryside.
Exactly.
And so, but yes, okay. But
If
she's
you
from
are
the
from
south.
Mestre, you're a foresta.
Yeah. I'm a foresta. Yeah, absolutely. But then, if you think
No,
about it, foresta comes from the word of foresta, as in
in
forest,
Latin.
because it was from
Yes.
the mountains and the woods.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
say, yeah. Okay,
And
sorry,
now
stop.
the Biennale also, the Biennale is dedicated to what is from
Oh yeah,
outside,
this year
what's
is gonna
inside,
be
outside. And we are
exactly,
always foresti for somebody else. But
absolutely.
the good apps, I mean, in Venice, you are foresto, but you are adopted by this town, because
Absolutely.
yeah.
So back to
So
your first experience. So you walked
now
in.
I came to study Oriental languages, and I
Oh,
visited
okay.
Caffè Florian, and my first visit, I still remember it. And working there, I noticed that people coming in, they have this wow effect, and they come with this. I mean, the feedback I get of this good positive vibes, because they are. Uh, it's immersive. It's an immersive experience, we would say
Mm,
nowadays.
yes.
It's immersive because the furniture, being surrounded by the beauty, helps you in this kind of sensory journey.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have, of course, the service and this beautiful waiter, and the service that has remained the same. We
Mm-hmm.
call it servizio a vassoio. So
Yes,
you
with a
see
silver
that,
platin. Yes.
okay, and you don't have cups on your table. You have
Yeah.
this tray, silver tray,
Mm-hmm.
that's served by the waiter. It's very heavy, and it's served with a very elegant way.
Mm-hmm.
It looks light, but it's very, very heavy.
Mm.
And so what makes the visit special is that you can observe this beauty. You can be there. You
Mm-hmm.
can be served something. It's very special, sometimes typical of Caffè Florian.
Mm-hmm.
We have this zabaione, per esempio,
I
which
know.
is eggs.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. I
okay.
tried it a couple of weeks ago. It was like, oh, I like this. I
Okay.
like this.
And if you observe the way they prepare it,
Mm.
it's like the ancient way to prepare hot chocolate for the Maya
Mm-hmm.
civilization. They use this tool
Mm-hmm.
to create a froth, and it's the old way to prepare it. And
Mm-hmm.
then we have a particular chocolate. We have um, uh,
You gone.
we
I
we
lost you.
we we choose. Sorry.
I lost you for a second.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
So
you were
we have
talking about the
chosen
chocolate.
chocolate or coffee. We have 100 coffee, or 100% and 20% Robusta coffee,
Mm-hmm.
which is our choice, of course. So it's selected and produced. It's a special production
Mm-hmm.
for Caffè Florian,
Mm-hmm.
and
Like
also chocolate.
most of your product, because I was there a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to some of your staff. I was telling most of your
Mm-hmm.
product, or if not all of it, but let's say most of the product that you actually sell as well, if people want to take back like a memoir, some
Yes.
souvenirs, instead of taking those horrible Chinese made stuff, they can bring back something from you, and you go, and it's all made for you,
Yeah.
for your
Yeah.
brand and everything. And it's most of the same, I think, local, or anyway, let's say made in Italy, let's say, most of it.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
And we also have branded items I mean, with lifestyle, like having your tableware, your
Mm-hmm.
coffee cup by Florian,
Mm-hmm.
taking them home with
Mm.
Florian coffee,
I the beautiful bag. You had
to
a
leave
you
your
had a
souvenir, your memory.
Yeah, you had a beautiful bag on display that I kept my eyes on it.
Yeah.
I
And
love
the
what it was.
100% silk scarf.
I
And
know.
because we have this, trademark. We have Florian
Mm-hmm.
as this new lifestyle
And
branded
most of the
product.
stuff is available online as well because you got an online store, haven't you, as well?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
I said,
Sorry.
I hope you still have it. You used to have, and I think you do, you have an online store as well, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, yes, on the www.caffeflorian.com,
Mm-hmm.
we have the e-commerce, so you can take a look there, and it's a joy. I mean, you go from the tea, you can buy tea and coffee and silk scarf, or artist souvenir. You know that in the Senato room in 1893 of the town, Riccardo Salvatico used to meet there with his friend. Now,
Hello? You gone? I lost you.
happening in town, but also project. They had the idea.
Anarita, we lost
Yes,
you for a second. I need you to
I'm
stay
sorry.
still because I literally lost you from when you start talking about Salvatico.
I stand still. Okay, sorry. And
so if you can go back
no.
when you were saying that Salvatico used to meet in the rooms there.
Yes. Yeah. I'm thinking about this special moment. Things happen at the Florian, and when you are part of the history, when you're in the history, you don't realize how important moment can be. So I'm taking you back to 1893 when Riccardo Salvatico used to meet at Caffè Florian with his friends, artists, intellectual, and they just had a chat. They were chatting about a future project to have an exhibition in town, but in different buildings, so diffused in town. And that was 1893. In 1895, the Biennale of Venice was born.
Wow.
And the idea, they had it at Caffè Florian. And this is, part of the important moment. And we were talking about Biennale art. And nowadays, Caffè Florian is part of the contemporary art scenery.
Yes, you always have all through every year you have exhibitions within the walls, don't you?
Yeah, so we call an artist, and usually is free to interpret a room. It's not just a showcase for an artist. It happened. We had many artists showing, for example, for the glass week, we have a glass master, un maestro del vetro. He can exhibit his object of art. Okay. Otherwise, we have an artist in reinterpreting the Sala del Cinese, for example. So they are free to interpret. Sorry if I repeat the same word. To create a new room in the historical room. We had this beautiful exhibition by Matteo Pugliese, the ghost of Florian, the spirit of Florian. He had this big face coming out of the wall in the Chinaman room. So, and again, every exhibition, it's an immersion. And so Caffè Florian is part of the contemporary art scenery in town. This is a very important link we have with the art.
Okay. Do you also do it for the architecture biennale or just for the art? Oh, okay.
Yes,
so
we do that.
Are about to open soon. Oh, actually, by the time this episode comes out, the biennale would have been open.
Absolutely. Yes.
Have we got? Can you give us a little hint, preview? Because by the time this episode goes out, it will be out anyway. So,
Monica, I didn't hear you. So about the biennale, which is opening.
Yes, absolutely. I was saying by the time this episode goes out, the Biennale will be open. So can you tell us already what's going to happen at the Florian?
No.
Oops. Okay, sorry guys. You need to travel here to find out. Oh, that was such a letdown.
No. Sorry.
You just killed me. But
I was thinking So we have a work in progress, of course.
Okay.
But I was actually, yes, we have the Uni is linked to the Architectural Biennale, and then the Temporanea, which is the other thread of contemporary art.
Okay.
And we are going to publish on the website all the exhibition we have, because
that's good.
A very big paragraph, chapter of Florian history, really. Now on the website you can find the blog news at eventi to be updated, and also the history, and of course we were talking about the branded items.
I've got one last question for you, but this is for you.
Me
for you
personally.
as Anna Rita, what was the most gratifying point of your career at the Florian, working for them?
Personally or professionally, both?
Either or both.
Okay. I have many moments. So let's say this feeling of being part of
history.
Special moment. Yes, absolutely. And then, you're working, it happens to be there, Clint Eastwood, and then, it's amazing. It can happen. It's quite memorable for me, meeting these people. And to me, it was a unique chance, to work there. And then personally, because I started there as a shop assistant, and then became the retail.
Okay. How long have you been there?
11 years.
Oh, la la. Okay. All right. Okay. You're part of the furniture now.
Yes. I feel like I have 300 years, I feel like that.
No, but it's always good. Oh, by the way, how hard, this is a question that just popped by my mind now. During the pandemic, how hard was it? Because I came and I did an interview. I think it was 28 towards the end of 2018, maybe January 2019 or something like that. I mean, it was just before the no, actually, I think it was the beginning of 2019, and then there was the floods and then the pandemic. So the floods didn't help, of course. What about the pandemic? How hard was
at that time, I was at that time the executive manager at Florian. So it was a big moment professionally for me. And then the pandemic happened. And we used to go and visit, open it sometime. Caffè Florian hasn't been closed during the World Wars.
Okay.
So it was quite impressive to see Caffè Florian close. When I used to go and check for the, check that the electrical system was all right and so on, there was a loudy silence. Impressive. And I noticed that some Venetian used to go there and sit outside, even though the cafe was closed, because again, like we said at the beginning of this conversation, it's part of a right, a daily right. It's part of the lifestyle in Venice. And for the 300 years anniversary, we were closed, and secretly we gathered all the colleagues and some Venetians just arrived from different points in the square. It was prohibited. We were not allowed to go around, but everybody felt to go in Sentire Square, just facing the closed doors and wish the place happy birthday, after 3 centuries. It was very sad for the humanity, and it was very tough for the business itself and for but that helped to feel like a family. I mean, we have a tough work in summer, for example. It's quite tiring because you have people every day, every time. And could be, working is always difficult, even if you're in such a beautiful place. But the magic of Florian is that you feel part of the family. And like in an ordinary family, you can quarrel with your sister, with your parents, and then it's solved, and then there is a sunny day and everything is all right.
Yeah.
And the pandemic, like for the rest of humanity, helped to make a stronger, relationship and help each other. We were in touch every day, and so tough. But here we are again.
I know, and always busy because whatever I pass now is always packed. I mean, I got to say though, talking about one last thing, talking about experiences, I got to say my best experience at Florian, it has nothing to do with. I mean, I've come for many events, I've come for drinks, whatever, but actually, I remember taking a couple of clients of mine that were blind.
Wow.
We were going around Venice, and it's not easy to explain Venice to blind people, of course. So I was trying to get them to have a very tactile experience, And I remember we walked by without any warning. We walked by the Florian, and I thought by myself, oh, I wonder if they're gonna let me in to touch things. And I remember, maybe it was you. I don't know if it was you. It may be because it was 10 years. It must have been 10 years ago. Yeah. I walk in, I remember, and I cannot remember who I spoken to the person. And I said, look, I got these two blind people. We're not going to sit down or have a drink and stuff because we're in a rush. But is any chance
I was the one.
It was you, was it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Thank
Wow.
you. You made those people. Okay, so let me finish the story so people understand. And I remember you very kindly, you could have just easily said to me, no, look, if you're not going to buy anything, walk away. Instead, you said to me, you actually took us to the last room. There was nobody there. You said, take your time and touch whatever you want. And it was the best. My people were so happy. They were just so happy because it made that totally different. And what's interesting is that you said that, but when I asked the same thing at the museum, they said no. Can you believe it? So thank you.
I can't.
Thank you. I cannot believe it was you.
Thank you. I remember this. I remember this, of course, and but that was a long time ago.
Yeah. It was.
That's the point. I think it's important to share the emotion of being inside. And I know somebody can think why should I pay this money for just one coffee? The point is that
you're not paying for the coffee. Exactly.
No. And then again, you see this very elegant waiter and you think, wow, they are going to be snob. But suddenly when you go in, you discover there is a very welcoming
stuff. Oh my God. I walk in and now it says, oh, nice to see you back. And it's like, I haven't been in a year and you still remember me. And it feels great. It really feels great. Anna Rita, what can I say? This was a wonderful chat, and I'm pretty sure that everybody listening now is ready to book a ticket and come over to Venice just to come and have a coffee or a hot chocolate. But by the way, so cold at the moment, we're still drinking hot chocolate, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
Oh my God. So let's remind people where they can find you on the website and where they can find you on social media, please.
Okay, so we are on the www.caffeflorian, double F, no accent, caffeflorian.com.
Okay.
And then Instagram and Facebook.
With
Caffè Florian 1720.
Perfetto. Anna Rita, it was so nice talking to you, and I cannot believe it was you.
I think so. I remember this moment, but we have so many anecdotes and facts, I should write a book about.
I know. Never mind the recipe book, the by the way I got and I love. You should definitely write a book about all the famous people and the interesting stories and underdogs that happened at the Florian, because you must have, in 300 years, you must have tons.
So many.
3
Monica,
volumes or something.
There is a new comic strip about the Florian.
Yes, 300. I know.
Yeah,
I saw it. Is beautiful. I loved it. I think it's really
Valerio
beautiful.
held, yeah. It's very interesting. So.
Yeah, I love it because you got so many things going. I mean, I definitely think it is a rebirth of a new generation and a new era for Caffè Florian, I think.
Thank you. Come and visit me then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well,
we will have to meet.
Okay, so
I wait for you.
I can say previews on my part. So I'm actually organizing a new tour, and here, people out there, Caffè Florian is involved. I cannot tell you more, but watch this space. Stay tuned, and you soon find out.
So we wait for you.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, Anna-Rita, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much. Say hi to everybody, and hope to have you back maybe later on to talk about some more Caffè Florian, maybe in the next season. Ciao, ciao.
Let's keep in touch. Bye.
Thank you so much, Anna-Rita, for the lovely chat. You can find Anna-Rita at www.caffeflorian.com and on all social medias as @caffeflorian. Thank you again for listening. Venice Talks podcast is a production of Sentire Media, created, produced and hosted by me, Monica Cesarato. Follow Venice Talks wherever you get your podcast, and if you want to book a food tour or a cooking experience with me, you can find me over at www.monicacesarato.com and on all social medias with the handle @monicacesarato, where you can follow my adventures around Venice. And don't forget, if you love this episode, please rate it and leave a review. It's very much appreciated.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.